Welcome to the last match of the evening. We're on King Sage on Station, spawning to the top left-hand corner in purple, playing Zerg from Risk in Germany. It's Miezekotze. And to the bottom right, in teal, playing for Team Hush in the United States as Zerg. It is NoveaStar. Going for the extractor trick? No! Going for extractor into pool and the heavy ling cheese against her opponent. Sorry for that. And Miezekotze is not expecting it. Even goes into hedge first. Whew, that could kind of backfire. So we'll see how she's going to deal. What? Second guess? No, okay, extractor trick. I was just for a moment. Yeah, that would have been very odd. You definitely don't need two guesses here. Okay, Miezekotze even going into hatch furry. Wow, that's actually quite interesting. I mean, I know that Miezekotze actually also studies her opponents before playing against them. So, usually, maybe she hasn't done it yet. She also faced NoveaStar last season, so she kind of knows about her playstyle. And I'm actually wondering that she's not expecting her to maybe cheese on that map. But she's probably expecting her opponent to go to some sort of Muta build. Because that's what Novea usually does. Once she doesn't. Oh, not once. If she doesn't. Or whenever she doesn't. So, we don't really want to make it sound negatively. So, whenever she decides not to cheese, then she usually goes into macro muta. Or maybe 2-base muta timing. So, Baneling Nest going down as well. Spawning pool will be done in just a few seconds, but Novea's metabolic boost is almost halfway done before Miezekotze can actually even start it. So, seeing how she's going to defend this is going to be pretty interesting here. Novea already massing the Zerglings, and now Miezekotze knows that her opponent is on one base and is probably preparing for a heavy Ling push, and we can see the reaction right away. 8 Lings being in production. And probably a Baneling Nest will be thrown down in just a matter of seconds, I feel. Because, again, she also usually needs the Baneling Nest desperately. But yeah, everything's way earlier for Novea. So she's already on the run. Timing is a little bit missed, I feel, since the Baneling Nest is already done. But her Lings are only moving out, so she could have actually get it a little bit more crisp, so that the Banelings would already be here and morphing right when the Baneling Nest is done and finished. She doesn't need speed before that anyway, so she doesn't really have to wait for speed. So like I said, these are the little small timings that suddenly make a Grandmaster player so much better than, for an instance, a Diamond player, where you just sometimes think, how the hell does he or she do it? Where you just think, I'm actually doing the same things and I'm trying to hit the timings, but still at some point in the game the other one just has more of anything and I don't know why. And it's these little timings, these little crisp things that make it a little bit better. Okay, we have a lot of queens out. Miezekotze is just moving back. The main thing she wants to make sure of is stay away from these Banelings. But of course, Novea could also just try to get inside the mineral base, so Miezekotze really will have to move away, but can't really save all of the workers over here, so loses a lot of them, like 9 in an instant. The thing is that she's still okay, because she was up ahead in workers for quite some time. I mean, Novea actually had to invest a lot of lava into Lings in order to make that happen, and now she's actually just lost everything. Yeah, she dealt a lot of damage, but don't take it wrong. I mean, she actually just evened out the score with her push. And now Miezekotze actually has a quicker base, actually has the better saturation even, because she managed to just split up her drones. So we can see it in the income tab that Miezekotze is looking quite fine, and now even has taken the Harvester lead once more. And she's actually managed to save a lot of her Lings that were produced after the initial push, so she's actually quite safe and can just drone up quite easily, while Novea now always have to be scared of a possible counter push, and so she just needs to invest a little bit more into these resources, into static defense, into maybe a few more Lings, so that she just won't get caught off guard by some sort of push. And that is how Miezekotze actually just gained back the advantage. So we'll probably even transition into higher tech a little bit earlier, I feel. So Lair already incoming for Novea though. She really wants to hit these 2 base muta timings, I feel. But like I said, I mean, I think Miezekotze is going to expect this, and she already moves into roaches. Will again just try to overwhelm her opponent before she can actually get the mutas out. So it's almost the same strategy she used against Tsunokazuri. I think back in week 1 of the 2nd season, or week 2, something along those lines. Where, yeah, she also just kind of blindly knew that Tsuno would be going mutas in a usual standard game, and she just abused the fact that she knew that by attacking early on, playing build orders that just abused the fact that it just takes some time and resources to get mutas out, and there are timing windows where you can just hit your opponent and kill her before that. So, Novea knows that No's third has been taken, doesn't know about the Lings and Roaches though, will now. And yeah, the third I think is something she cannot really hold, but of course the clock is ticking, the Spire is on the way. But yeah, Novea now just, again, has to spend some resources probably in order not to die early on. So she might get some mutas out once the Spire pops, but it's probably only going to be like 3 or 4 of them. And they also eventually just have to hatch. And in the meantime, I think Miezekotze will just maybe able to deal some terrible damage. I mean, these Zerglings will be cleared pretty easily by the Banelings, and maybe she will even be able to tear down one Spinecrawler. But then again, the Roaches and Lings here, I mean, that's with Spinecrawlers alone, I think this shouldn't really work out. The Queen doesn't even have Transfuses, so these Spinecrawlers can't even be counter-healed. And yeah, now she's moving in with most of the Banelings, just maybe getting a good hit, even getting some Banelings right into the mineral line, only killing 2 though. But yeah, the rest of the Roaches are just now inside the natural line. And like I said, 7 mutas finally about to hatch. But in the meantime, I think Miezekotze can just again deal terrible, terrible damage. Just killing off more and more workers, killing off another queen. Okay, finally the mutas come in. And 7 mutas are actually kinda okay against this, what Miezekotze has. But there's still a lot of Roaches. Miezekotze actually just splitting it up, trying to kill a few more workers, keeping these mutalisks occupied, and tries to kill off the Spire with the rest of the Roaches. Don't really know if it will be enough. It seems as if so. Roaches just having so much armor and such thick skin. And finally the Spire goes down, so no more mutas for Novea. And in the meantime, Miezekotze of course had enough time to just prepare her defenses there, just kept her opponent's mutas tucked back for quite some time. So now she has a Spore Crawler out, should maybe eventually just get a second one, it doesn't really matter. I mean, 29, 30 workers have already died. Miezekotze just rallying Lings across the map because she knows that they will just keep these mutas busy for like forever, and now even killing off the natural base as well. Does she actually know about the third? She does, so she will probably even send in, yeah, with the Overlord, just found out. So she will probably just send the next few Lings towards the third base as well. And while again, she just keeps her opponent occupied, killing off more and more workers inside the main base. I mean, if we have a look at the worker count, it's 16 to 29. And like I said, and the biggest problem of course is then as well, I mean, even once Novea finally manages to clear off everything that Miezekotze has right here, she still needs to fly over and deal some damage, but she really can't. I mean, there's not much she can do. Only one Spore Crawler here and another Spore Crawler down there. A lot of Queens down here at the third base as well. Now finally the mutas move across the map trying to deal some more damage. She just tries to reproduce a few more workers over here. I mean, the mutas might be kind of helpful, picking off a few units here and there, but then again, as soon as Novea just comes close to Miezekotze's front, Miezekotze can just always rally some Lings to the back, and there's just nothing to defend it. I mean, the mutas are her only units right now, and she can't really produce anything else, since she's just so low on economy. And now finally the Lings move in. Okay, some Lings were reproduced by Novea as well, but yeah, Lings get in. And now we'll even just kill the Queen as well. We'll then start continuing by killing off drones. Okay, if they can, but the Queen is already a good snipe. And of course the mutas get tucked back once more. More Lings run by, trying to get more damage dealt, but at least a few Zerglings are around. Miezekotze in the meantime just trying to get her third base saturated, just producing a few more Lings. And yeah, we'll just keep her opponent occupied. And Novea hasn't even had the chance to restart her Spire. So yeah, no more mutas. She will just have to fight the ground fight for quite some time, and she just doesn't have the forces or the economy to do so. So the only thing she can hope for is actually just Miezekotze making a big mistake, waiting too long until she finally attacks and giving Novea the time to get back up on 3 bases, get back up on full saturation, get back up some tech, and then sometime overwhelming her with superior forces. But Miezekotze is not the type of player to let that happen, so as soon as she's got a big mass of lings out, she'll again just target fire the 3rd base, and once it dies, this is just over. Yeah, the Mutas will not be able to stop this from happening. Good Baneling connections could actually just deal a ton of damage, and they do, but yeah, actually there's also the Spinecrawler to stop the lings from doing so much damage, but again, Queen just getting shot down. We have one more pesky ling over here, a few more lings in the mineral line of the main base as well. Mutas just have to fly from base to base, and she always keeps them busy while just teching up at home into Hive Tech now already. Finally getting the Evolution Chamber. I was really wondering about when she'd finally get some upgrades for her lings, because that's what she usually does a lot quicker here, because that's normally the counter to the Mutas, that you just keep investing into upgraded lings and just keep harassing with mass lings that just don't die but kill everything off that the opponent has. So that's what we often see Miezekotze do. I think she's just once saw it in a pig daily and copied it from there, and it has worked out for her quite well so far. So Miezekotze also has some banelings at some strategical points, so if Novea should just try to get in here and run by with a few lings, these banelings would just easily get her killed. Okay, now again just running across the map with lings. Novea will have to move back with her Mutas once more, and these lings only get better and better. So Novea only has a few lings of her own, now tries to move with the banelings towards the 3rd base because that's her most important mining base, but of course that leaves her main base a little bit vulnerable. And lings just killing off a queen again! So Novea just can't really get a blink. At least this time around we have a Spinecrawler that's going to help out here tremendously, but more units dying at the 3rd base. 10, 13 more workers have been killed, and now we're down 31 to almost 50 here. So yeah, Miezekotze just furthering her advantage bit by bit by bit. Maybe a little bit more slowly than she could have actually done it, because she's wasting, of course, a lot of resources into harassing her opponent, knowing that every ling flood she sends across is a suicide command, but it doesn't just matter. That's just all she wants to do. She wants to keep her opponent on her toes, wants to keep her opponent's economy low, while just tacking up behind it, and then eventually just steamrolling over her. It's quite interesting that she goes for an Ultralisk Cavern, but yeah, with the upgrades, Ultralisks actually never die to Muta shots, especially if you don't have a big amount of it. So it seems to be a bit of an odd choice, and actually the Ultras won't have the best armor available, because I think once the Ultralisk pops, it's only like plus, and we have the chitinous plating going on as well, but then I think it should be about +5, maybe, so not +8, it's not the 8 armor Ultralisks, so I mean +5 or +6, then still good enough for a few Muta shots of like 8 Mutas, nothing really worth to talk about. So in the meantime, Novea has just gotten back on track, has redone her Spire, and will now finally be able to get some Mutas out, but then realizing that there's 5 Ultralisks and her few Mutas won't really do her any good. Okay, 1 Baneling in defense, no Baneling over here, but a few Spines, a few Banelings over here as well. So Ling run-bys will be a bit problematic. Yeah, Miezekotze just splitting up everything. Wow, the Banes just getting in. Okay, wood Baneling connections over here by these 2 Banelings, and we have the Spinecrawler to help out as well. With a Queen, Miezekotze can't really micro at every position. So yeah, this actually defended it kind of itself. So very nicely done by Novea here. Still holding strong, still holding out. I mean, it would have been probably very interesting if Miezekotze just went into Mutas herself. I mean, she just had the economic lead for quite some time. So I think she could have just easily transformed into Mutalisks herself and then just outproduced her opponent on Mutalisks. But yeah, she decided to go for the ground force, and there we have them, 6 Ultralisks. Is she actually even waiting for more upgrades? It seems so. Yeah, she just wants to wait for 2-2, it feels. Or maybe just the +2 attack, but probably even for the +2 ground carapace as well. And then she's going to have 7 armor Ultralisks, which are still pretty strong. So Miezekotze coming in will probably be able to kill down that 4th hatchery over here, which is actually a nice thing to do, while taking your own 4th over here. Yeah, no way to save it. So there it goes down, and the drone as well. But Miezekotze also scouts that her opponent is going for a base as well. Does she? I think this should be far enough, right? Yeah, it's just barely in vision range. So, well, a lot of mutas now around. NoveaStar just used a lot of her bank to just produce a few more mutas. And now, actually, this one spore crawler here is not really a big problem anymore. Oh, okay, Nidus Worm. Even Ultras in the Nidus Worm, in the Nidus Network. Okay, and there it goes down. Okay, here it goes. So all the units coming out, a lot of queens as well, to help protect against the mutas. Yeah, and I mean, okay, this base is dead. This base is gonna, no way to hold it. Ultralist coming out as well, so the only thing that Novea actually has are a lot of mutas, which, like I said, will take quite some time in order to get these Ultralisks finished, and we also have the queens in place as well. So with a few good transfuses, this should still be pretty scary. And yeah, like I said, I mean, the Ultras don't even actually care. Now we have the double micro, and actually, you know, Miezekotze just needs to A-move her Ultralisks towards her opponent's base, and Novea doesn't really want to lose that base, so she has to retreat with the Mutalisks. Does not really finish off the queens, but the queens will take some time to join the army anyways without any creep. So finally she gets down, and now we can see how long it actually takes to take down an Ultra, see? I mean, have a look at that, have a look at that. This is like 1 table and 4 mutas, and it takes quite some time to take that sucker down. So Miezekotze even having a few roaches, destroying the 3rd base, destroying the natural base. Now Novea is dry and not mining at all. And even if she manages to get down this army, which it's still going to take... I mean, have a look at that. Have a look at that. How many mutas this are. And the Ultralisks just don't die. The Ultralisks might even take out all the buildings before the Mutalisks finally get them down. No, they don't. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Everything is gone, and the only thing that Novea has now are mutas. 59 workers killed. 59 workers killed in a streak! Ding, 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 ding! So, it seems as if Miezekotze just broke Poison's record, and we'll have to exchange that. So, 59 workers killed in a streak, ladies and gentlemen, new FSL record. Okay, Miezekotze won't be able to finish that off quite so easily. Just sends in 1 more Ultra to do the trick. And yeah, she just needs to kill off the remaining buildings. I mean, yeah, Novea might just have the hope of being able to kill off her opponent. Okay, first infestors are on the way. Yeah, I mean, Miezekotze still knows that it's still risky. I mean, she cannot just leave Novea, move in with all of her mutas. She doesn't really have that much anti-air. And this is a really scary amount of mutas here. But yeah, still don't really know if I like Miezekotze's play here. I think it would be much wiser to just collect all of her units, or just assemble all of her units at one point, waiting for the mutas to cross the map, and then just move in and kill off everything. But of course it's only a matter of time now. Yeah, these things don't have any creep. She doesn't have the possibility, she doesn't have a lair, so she doesn't have the possibility to spread creep with overlords. So these buildings eventually are going to die. But yeah, now they move in. Nice fungals over there. Seems as if Novea was not really expecting fungals to happen. So Miezekotze actually got a big chunk of the mutas with the first fungal, but from now on I think it will be more difficult for her to hit with the fungals if Novea is just paying attention. But yeah, I think it would have been just the wiser thing to do. Just waiting for the mutas to move across the map in order to get to her, and then just do a run by and kill off all of the buildings. It might still be a bit problematic to kill off everything with only links and this amount of mutas, but Novea finally gives up. GG. I mean, like I said, it's only a matter of time until these buildings die. And Miezekotze takes the first game. Apotheosis is Novea's chosen map. So what can we expect of her? I wonder. There could be a specific reason why I'm hovering above this location on the map. But maybe I'm mistaken. We'll see. Actually, it seems Novea just wants to go into an early push once more. Maybe hopes that her opponent would be going for the gold base, and she can just punish her the way that Sumo tried to do it. with her opponent. Miezekotze just rallying the overlords across, and this time around also going for an early spawning pool before taking a base. At the gold? No, yes. At the gold. So, Miezekotze going for a safe gold expand. Nice, I like it. And Novea now will again just be behind for quite some time. I mean, again, she just needs to deal significant amount of damage in order to come out ahead of it. Normally, just on one base with just early speedling, with early speedlings, and then probably even a baneling nest as well. You normally want to do game-ending damage and just win the game right there and then. But of course, like we saw in the first game, sometimes it just kind of happens that the disadvantage you gained by going into this tech and a lot of army units early on just evens out by your attack. So you just deal a lot of damage, but not quite enough to finish the opponent off, but enough in order for yourself to even up the game and just get into a normal macro game from there on out, which we saw on the last map. But, of course, usually you just want to kill your opponent straight away, if you can. So, Miezekotze, like I said, just has a small attack disadvantage this time around, because she just got the spawning pool out a little bit earlier. In comparison to her hatch first she got on the last map. So, this time around, she will just have the better income more quickly, since she is already on 2 bases. And she will have out some defending Zerglings already as well, although they won't have speed as soon enough. But she has the defender's advantage because her units will just spawn a little bit closer, and she will be able to produce more lings out of 2 bases, since she's having the gold minerals. So, but of course, you always have to still be careful. The gold minerals provide you more minerals, but they don't provide you more lava. So, even if you have the gold minerals, but it's still the better thing for Miezekotze here. And now she's even attacking the natural base with her own lings, while her opponent has already tried to do a run by herself. And that's already a massive loss here by, sorry for that. That's already a massive loss for NoveaStar here, because Miezekotze now has the second base already saturated. She has the lava available of 2 bases. Her opponent only has 1 base and only has a small tech advantage with the speed, and this tech advantage actually will get neglected once Metabolic Boost and the Baneling Nest is through for her opponent as well. So I feel that Miezekotze might want to throw down 1 or 2 spine crawlers maybe in order to make it easier for her to defend against the banelings, but of course maybe she's just positive that she will be able to just handle everything with pure baneling forces. Maybe she just goes for a run by once more and kills off the hatchery over here, because like I said, it's only a matter of time. I mean, either Novea just gets fantastic hits with these banelings and just kills off Miezekotze's forces with like 2 or 3 banelings, and then still has enough units left in order to kill off the rest. Okay, that might actually be a good hit, but Miezekotze just trying to just lose as less as possible. Okay, 3 workers for 4 banelings. Absolutely not worth it. And I think it should now snowball from here, because like I said, now finally Miezekotze has caught up in tech. She is now able to outproduce her opponent on lings. Her opponent has not halfway done her own base, and Miezekotze will just move in and probably kill it right now. Well, there's a few more lings incoming, so maybe Novea will be able to just barely save it. I mean, she needs to save it. If she loses it again, this is over. This just will snowball so heavily if this base is lost. So she really needs to defend it. Okay, has to be careful. Miezekotze this. Sees now that banelings will be out. Tries to take out the base. If she can, but will probably not be able to get it. So, good for NoveaStar. She really needed to get that. Miezekotze just trying to move that baneling over here, but gets denied. Still, I mean, she has had her base for quite some time. Where's actually the queen? Has not reproduced the queen, which is a bit unfortunate here. Would have really wanted to have. Okay, just gets in with a few more lings and banelings once again. Will now get the second base, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, I mean, this is... I didn't make this prediction for nothing. I said if this base dies again, this game is over. And that's what it is. I mean, Novea will eventually just... mine out in her main base, and like I said, the biggest problem is of course that she just doesn't have enough lava. GG, and Miezekotze takes the second game as well. New Gettysburg, our 3rd map in this series. Novea's pick once more. And we'll see what she's up to, if she just wants to try the same thing once more after it hasn't done her much good in the last two series. In the last two matches, I'm sorry. And this is Novea doing the extractor trick. This is Miezekotze. Always epic soundtrack of StarCraft 2. Pretty cool, I actually have to say. And thanks, Grizzly, for the auto-host. I know you've got nothing to do with it. Yes, you put me on your list. And that's always a nice thing to do. Also, Suno actually put me on her list, which I also find pretty nice of her. Thank you very much. And it's pretty interesting, because whenever you host me, you oftentimes host me for 1 or 2 viewers. So somebody seems to be watching your stream even if you're not on. Which is a bit odd. Okay, hatchery going down this time for NoveaStar. No! Oh my god. This seems to evolve into a usual macro game. But Miezekotze this time around cheesing. The mind games, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. This is just so great. So maybe I think probably Miezekotze didn't really want to cheese right early on. I think that's just her precautious measure, her countermeasure, because she was probably expecting Novea to do the same thing. So she just did this as a response to all the games before and the playstyle she knows Novea is playing. So I don't think that Miezekotze actually wanted to go for some sort of early cheese, and this base actually also shows that to us. Although still, she might of course just run in with a few lings and banelings as soon as she can. As soon as she can. What am I talking about? As soon as she can, of course. Again, she knows that Novea likes her muta style, that she often plays it, and that it might actually, yeah, and that's why she goes into Roach one. So it's going to be the same thing she did to Suno in her match against her. Just trying to hit the timing window before the mutas actually get out. Has seen that her opponent has gone for a hatch first indeed, so that's actually great news for her, because she really wanted to know that. Novea unfortunately not moving in too closely, so she hasn't seen the Roach one yet, and might not even be there in time. So yeah, Miezekotze might actually even try to do a Nidus worm play once more. She has an Overlord hanging out here, and against Suno she also did it, where she just produced a lot of roaches early on, maybe a few more queens, but if she really hits her timing straight away with the Nidus worm, but therefore she would first need... actually, she might just try to go over with early roaches and just kill her straight away. But yeah, if she just can't, she might as well just go into Nidus Worm later on and then just try to overwhelm her opponent. Spinecrawler going down for NoveaStar. Interesting there. Has not really sniffed out anything. Don't know what the Queen is doing there. I think the Queen really wants to shoot down that Overlord, but she just was a little bit misrallied there. Okay, Novea just moves away completely. So again, she just will not have the possibility to see what's going on. Will not even see the first few roaches. So that's also nicely done by Miezekotze. They're just tugging them back into the mineral line of the natural base until the Overlord is driven away, so that Novea will actually get this information as late as possible, which is now. So now she sees the first few links running across. Now she's going to see the first few roaches, and the question is, will she be ready? And I think the answer is no, because once more, she wants to transition into lair. Now just goes into an evolution chamber. She has a safety roach warren, so that might actually be her saving grace, but she only has one Spinecrawler in terrible position, and no army forces like what so friggin' ever. Yeah, 2 roaches being in production, but 12 more Zerglings being rallied across the map. We already have a lot of roaches in here. The Spinecrawler will just die in an instant, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first few roaches that actually come out also die in an instant. The Queen just dies, which also means less lava once more, while Miezekotze still has the possibility to produce lava and units out of 2 hatcheries. All the drones die in the natural. There's nothing here to fight against the roaches. Novea at least trying to produce 8 at a time, but like 1 seems to die just straight away. Others that will pop out here will also die in an instant, so unfortunately she will never get all the roaches together. Would have probably just needed to pull all of her workers to make a last stand in her main base, maybe upwards the ramp, but that's it. GG, and Miezekotze takes the series with a quick 3-0.